being
Never
late
enough
all the
hours in the
time.
day,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my God, tell me. All right,
Nicholas,
everyone. And it's 11:12, 12 minutes late. As Matt said, story of my life. I'm so sorry for that.
story of my life. Always running late.
And it's not that we are actually not ready. It's just like I think we end up talking all the time, right?
We
It's the
do.
problem.
We do.
God.
Sometimes the behind the scenes conversations are just as good as what we do on the pod.
Oh my God. Well, maybe we should get started.
Yes,
Let's
let's
do
do it.
this. All right, everybody. This is Nico with eStreamly, the company that gets you live stream and video commerce on your site, social media, email, SMS, wherever you are. The video is shoppable. So excited to be here with Matt, my great friend from E6 Marketing, the company that gets you on QVC and HSN. And we have a docket of interesting news, Matt, this week. Like a lot of happening in the video commerce, live shopping space. But before we go there, maybe why don't you start by telling us what the show is about?
Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. This is called the VCommerce Podcast. If you're watching us on LinkedIn or Facebook, or you're listening to us on a walk through the neighborhood, we talk about video commerce. What is video commerce? That's the selling apparatus that started with direct response television, infomercials, then graduated into QVC and HSN and traditional home shopping on your television. And now you could buy products through video everywhere, on your phone, on your app, on your computer. So Nicholas and I are emerged in the video commerce space from different ends of the spectrum, but we are definitely emerged into this space. So we talk about 3 or 4 of the hot topics of the week each Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, here right in front of you on the live e-commerce podcast. And unfortunately, Nicholas, one of the stories that grabbed our attention, grabbed your attention before mine this week, was the unfortunate news about Flip. So tell us what happened with this app, because it was on such a high, I feel like, a year ago, and 24 into 25 wasn't very good, and they closed shop.
Yeah, Matt. Exactly as you said. So Flip is this app where you could do shoppable video. It used to start with live streaming, and then they move exclusively to shoppable video, from my understanding. And so it started as this community where you could post and invite your friend, and then you can create like a small group, and then you can shop as a group. Then fast moving forward, they, as you say, moved to shoppable video. They grew quite exponentially during the TikTok era of not sure what's happening with TikTok Shop and TikTok in general. And then from there, the company has been on this rapid growth. At least what we felt was a rapid growth from the outside. Back in April 2024, they had raised an additional 144 million, so not a small amount of money, at a 1.05 billion valuation. So things were on the rise, were really going. 50 million was a fund that was from AppLovin. You may have heard about AppLovin. This is the app that everyone talks about because it's very, very performing in the AI space, and so they really have a lot of device where they can put ads on. But with their focus on shoppable video, it didn't seem that it pan out as expected. If you remember, Matt, back in the day, I think about a year plus ago, actually, right around this investment that was announced, I had met an insider that had told me, and we talked about this during the podcast, that the company was into a very unsweet spot. And at the time, their number one challenge is, yes, they were growing, but they had high acquisition costs, as pretty much any company that's in the space, and also high operating costs because they're operating video. But the biggest problem they have is like they had a lot of transaction velocity, so it was great for merchants. But the problem was very low AOV, right? Average order value was very low, and because of that, because it's a marketplace, they are taking a fee, right, on the as a cut of
every transaction.
Right. And even if you're taking 10-15%, like let's say they were able to push at 20% to certain merchants, 20% on a $10 or $20, that's not a lot of money to operate. And they had 13 million users. So, about 5% of the US population. It's not too bad, right? Or maybe not 5%, but it's a sizable number of the US population.
Sure.
And yet didn't work out for them. It's really sad because I know some people that are in this company, and really, really great people trying to push the video commerce space. But yeah, I think it's like one of those side effect of TikTok Shop being so great at what they do. So
I know. I hope this isn't a trend, obviously, or a sign. Now they did a lot of beauty, and we've talked about other Apple. Whatnot does collectibles, and they're kind of known for the collectible space. Orme is another company that we both talked about. They're dedicating their whole app to beauty. So I hope it's not. I work in the beauty space at QVC, and it is a growing category, but it's a definitely transitional category.
Yeah,
the dominance of retail, everyone's trying to learn what can happen in live commerce through beauty. And it's a different time than it was 10, 15 years ago. It's different.
I think the challenge is I think when I'm thinking back at my own personal journey with video commerce, I think the reality is, what is the solution? What is the problem that you're solving? And creating a marketplace for beauty, is it really solving something? And when you think about Whatnot, why did Whatnot really work? I think it's because initially, if you wanted to be in the collectible space, Whatnot was the place where they could actually kind of provide the guarantee or the trust factor that what you were buying was the actual thing. Although, as any company right now, everyone is the one that are listening say, oh, there's a lot of scam going on and Whatnot, whatever. That doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but I think they're really trying to minimize as much as possible. And they still want to be the place of trust where you go to sell trustworthy product that people can trust. And so if I buy it on Whatnot, I have much more likely to get the real product that if I'm buying that out of Temu, for instance, right? So which has no place to be in the collectible space. Now, in beauty, what's the problem you're solving, right? Like, why as a consumer would I buy on Flip versus buying on Amazon? And Amazon is great because they're solving for fast delivery, lower cost. That's kind of their mojo. Walmart is, same thing. But the marketplace and the place that thrive, they're really addressing like a core pain issue of the user. And I don't think community is enough of a pain or a gain to be like, I think that's kind of the challenge. I think that's kind of the challenge. And that's why if you just think beauty as beauty, how is it really that you can grow this? Because in front of you, you have the TikTok, you have the Facebook, and they already have the audience, right? So
yeah, I mean, building community is hard, I think, but beauty in video works. Demonstration works. Discovery is a big part of video commerce. Discovery of, I've never heard of this brand. What is it? Everyone owns lipsticks and foundations and the core products that women use. It's this brand. This is a new brand, up and coming brand, small brand I've never heard of. Where I found it on Flip. I like it. I bought it. Now, and then you build a community around it. QVC has done this for decades. TikTok is starting to do that now. Obviously, Amazon has done it now for so long. So discovery is a big part of beauty in itself. Discovery. What's new? Yeah. What's the latest? What's this brand all about? So I'm disappointed specifically in the beauty category that it couldn't maintain. You brought up median price point is a factor, a serious factor in probably why Flip struggled. And that's something that everyone talks about. Everyone has to deal with. The median price point theoretically should be going up incrementally year over year, whether you're, in this situation with beauty, if you're building kits, it's then instead of one lipstick, you're making it a duo, or, it's a 3-piece dynamic where the price point goes up. There's all kinds of ways you could build that median price point. I'm not sure how Flip managed that part of it. If they made it a priority for themselves as growth as a growth aspect to what they did.
Well, I mean, if you think about the investment of Uplovin and that investment they got in April 2024, the goal of that investment was specifically to try to bring AOV up by bringing new categories and new products to the mix, right? So I think they knew exactly what their problem was, and they were looking at tackle it. Now, the question is, was the audience was the audience ready to buy something at a higher price? I mean, like, it depends of like the target audience, right? So it kind of, do they had the mean to buy more, or had a higher
Yeah,
price point,
yeah. If you're dealing with the younger generations, they're not really investing in probably skincare or any high price point products. They're certainly not investing in prestige beauty, so they just want something that looks good and that's popular, right?
Yeah, it's very difficult, and I think it goes back to the story. Like, you were telling me like, oh, but like, what about Temu and Shein and all those company? Well, and they are low on price point, though. You were asking like, oh, are they not making it? I think, like, if they make I personally am not close enough of the business to understand like if those business are profitable, but we know that they have high acquisition cost as well, very high in ad and everything. You remember like when the de mini tariff came in, where now every product that were below 800s now will be have tariff on it. So
Sure.
all those things increase cost and everything. They really shrank significantly their advertising, and now their market share in the US is not as strong as it used to be. But ultimately, Shein and company like Temu, they have huge backing on the back, and even TikTok in a way, right? So like Temu, for instance, is owned by PDD, which is a 180 billion market cap company, right? So they have deep
Yeah,
pockets. So they can
they can
afford,
afford to struggle for
yeah,
a
they can
period of
afford to
time, right?
struggle to win the US market. And I think if when you're a startup, it's very hard to compete in that space. It's very
Yeah.
hard to compete.
You brought up Whatnot. We didn't talk about this in the prep meeting today, but I saw last night and I missed the show on Talk Shop Live. They partnered with Walmart and they launched a new show called We the Hobby. So it's collectibles. It's
Mm.
collectibles on Talk Shop Live, partnering with Walmart. So
Oh wow.
they're getting into that
Yeah.
Whatnot space of collectibles. We talked about for a long time last week just about how
Mm.
collectibles are making a resurgence. So, to your point,
At
maybe it's
some
the
point, Walmart's going
categories.
to acquire Talk Shop Live.
Who?
At some point, Walmart's going to acquire Talk Shop
Oh,
Live. They just too close to be let run loose. Like
I
they just,
know. They're partners in a lot of great things. I mean,
yeah.
they hit the headlines seemingly every week with something they're doing, and they started in COVID with celebrities,
Yeah, no,
right?
but I mean,
So,
they have their act together, and it sounds. I mean, until we get a news like Flip, right? So from the outside, everything is good, but they
no,
have the backing of Walmart, and so that certainly helped quite a
I
bit.
agree. Oh yeah.
Well, and talking about news and video commerce, have you seen what the news at Verb and the market.live?
Yeah, Market.live was something that launched 2 or 3 years ago. They were East Coast and West Coast based, and they broadcast through all kinds of different product categories. At one point, very recently, as we're talking about beauty, Market.live went all in on the beauty category,
Yeah.
and now it seems like Verb, although Market.live is still on air, it's focused on beauty.
Mhm.
Verb is shifting I guess, their energies to a whole other marketplace.
Well, they were BUV with Market.live. Then they acquire Livecom, which is a Shopify video commerce platform, basically, where so now
Yeah,
Shopify user could have live shopping also on their website, which I felt kind of makes sense, but I felt it was relatively similar to what the technology that Verb had, but maybe I'm wrong. But so they were like doubling down in video commerce. But then this news came in last
yeah,
week, and again the news is the following: Verb is actually gonna start buying Ton, which is like a crypto token, as part of their strategy. And as the result, they one renamed themselves. I think now they are like called Exton or something like that, on the stock exchange. But the second thing, they are, now the shell company that old Ton, the coin that is operating for Telegram, and a lot of people are buying that. So it's kind of similar to the micro strategy, and what they did with Bitcoin, where they used the company asset to buy more and more Bitcoin and all those assets. And so at the end, no one know what MicroStrategy was or is doing, but they just know that, like, if you want to buy Bitcoin and you're like in the stock market and you don't know where and how to buy, like, just buy some MicroStrategy stock, because it kind of, in a way, you're implicitly buying Bitcoin. And I think they kind of did the same thing with Tone. Tone is not a token that anyone has access to. If you are like a larger investor, and if you're buying on the stock market, you can only buy it if you buy the direct crypto. And by having that, you can now buy the Xtone, which is the former Verb stock. And then, by the way, they hold so much of the coin that most of their value is pegged to that. So it's very different business, very different, very, very different, very different model. But it's certainly a big shift. And I'm assuming they will still operating on the on the video commerce space and everything. But hey, I think a lot of people got millionaire overnight with this kind of thing within the company, and now most of their eyes will probably be turning to, that.
Yeah, Bitcoin and crypto and whatever you want to talk about, like, because of our government right now or other factors, like finance is obviously it's always been a big business, but it was a little different when Biden was in the office. You got 3 more years of Donald Trump, and they're jumping in with both feet. So Verb, I followed Verb since they got into the live commerce space. Like, they're cutting edge. They're definitely cutting edge. They're on the forefront of a lot of different things. It was a fascinating article to read on how they're getting into this whole space right now.
Yeah.
Third quarter 2025. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, but yeah. So another player that are they reshifting or changing? But yeah, a lot of interesting movement in the video commerce space for sure. That is happening. I wanted to bring on something a little bit different from usual. I came across this article the other day, and I think I sent it to you, Matt. It's the Consumer Tech Report, and that report really, I think, was very interesting. So it's a report that was from XRC Venture. I think it's on Substack. So if anyone wants to follow them, please feel free. It's a pretty cool newsletter they have. But what I like about it is, like, obviously they're talking about the crisis brewing among American hourly workers. So they're really looking at the hourly worker, and because they are XRC Venture, which is more like focusing on retail and income, they're really taking that from that lens. And there is like some like what they call the basic facts. Just that piece alone really shocked me, honestly. And let me enumerate those facts, and let me know, Matt, if you knew about it, right? So the hourly worker represent about 60% of all American working, right? Which is like, this is way more than I was originally anticipating, first of all. 44% of that is in retail, food service, of hospitality, right? So, directly in the space we kind of land ourselves on, like 22% is retail, food service about 19.8%, and hospitality is 2.7%. So 44% is in this space. And the average hourly worker in this industry, though, retail, food service, and hospitality, is 17 an hour, right? That really, the hourly rate kind of knew, nothing really surprised me there. What really surprised me was, 60% of the population is hourly. And out of those 60%, if you think of it, so 30% is really in retail, food service, and hospitality, and yeah. So if you think of that, that is, it's very hard to live on 17 an hour in the US.
It's daunting. And 20% of those people work in food service. Food, how can you be an hourly worker and deal with the price of milk and bread and all of that's happening right now? Every time I go to the grocery store, I spend $100 some. There's nothing in my cart. So it's a big problem what we have right now. And you could take it back to COVID. You could take it back to the economy. With all these prices going up, imported product, all that. There's a lot of different factors on why that one segment, food, has gone through the roof. But you were dealing with $19 an hour. I don't know how you're keeping food on the table these days with your family. It's hard.
Yeah, and so that made me think about, well, we know that Black Friday is coming, so I think there will be a lot of hero company, and I'm assuming a lot of people are going to heavily discount for the Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and I'm assuming there are probably some opportunity to engage your consumers, and some of that, if that is your core, by really highlighting those discounts that you're providing, because as a kind of a relief opportunity for them to be it reminds me that the message of Temu resonated so well, like buy like a billionaire or something like that, right? Well, that's not the message.
Yeah.
If you think of like it's not surprising that people are, when you make 17 an hour, you still want to consume, you are in a world of consumption, and like getting the discount and the best price is really an opportunity for a lot of people to access product. So I don't know, I mean, like,
well, you just brought up fourth quarter. Like, we're already in first week of September. Like, fourth quarter is around the corner. And that's part of everyone's thought process when you're working through retail. What will this fourth quarter be about? And if 60% of your consumers are making an hourly wage, how will that affect the fourth quarter for all retail?
Well, I mean, like GDP has been up, right? So hopefully, I didn't look at retail consumption. I was actually sending a graph to my wife yesterday, and I was looking at the retail consumption level for inflation, and basically retail sales were flat when you remove inflation. So what's growing is not like retail sales are not really growing. What's growing is the inflation aspect of retail sales. So anyway, a lot going on in the economy, but certainly hoping that everyone's going to have a great quarter. But yeah, those numbers really shocked me, and I felt it would be nice to do a shout out to XRP Venture for putting a report like this, and then also, yeah. Anyway,
good. It's good.
Yeah, maybe like a quick shout out, Matt, on what's happening on Tuesday. No, don't you think?
I know you did a nice little post this morning on LinkedIn about our conversation with Jay Hunter from Roost Organics. It was a great conversation. I wish we would have talked to him longer. We kind of teased it a couple of weeks ago, but the conversation is great. It's learning through his company on how much time and energy they are spending on video commerce, 24 hours, 7 days a week on TikTok Shop Live, and how his influencers work through Roost Organics on TikTok Shop.
Crazy, right? And then they also have the Amazon Live, and then the site, and then also the QVC. So they're really trying to tackle all the different aspects of going live at the different spot. And what's super interesting, and I don't want to tease the kind of like the key there, but it's interesting to see how he's thinking through where is the value, right? What's the value for that? And surprisingly, the sales aspect is one of them, but it's not the number one. And I hope and invite everyone to take a look and listen, follow us, and go on the live e-commerce podcast over the weekend. Hit the follow button, and then just check it out on Tuesday, 6 a.m. It will be in your place.
Yeah, it's a great conversation.
All right, Matt. It was great to see you today, and ready for the weekend?
Yes, 100%. Weather's still great here on the East Coast, so I'm enjoying that low humidity. beautiful skies. Hopefully I'll get out this weekend. How about you?
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here. We are here every Friday on LinkedIn, YouTube, and so many other channels. We love to hear your comment. Thank you, Patty, for showing up during the live. And we look forward to seeing you again next Friday. Bye for now.